So, good afternoon, students. So, I have shared two videos for the Unit 3, Part 1 and Part 2, right? Two videos I have posted in our group. Today, I posted the Part 2, and previously, I shared the first part. Um, I hope very few people only watched it. So, if you have some spare time, so you can go through the recorded video. So if you have any doubts, you can get clarified on the next class. Otherwise, you can mail me at kanagaraj KANAGARAJ .n.in @ I triple E, right? EEE.org, right? So kanagaraj.n.in at IEEE.org. So you can send me your doubts to that mail. Otherwise, you can ask me in the live class. So don't forget to watch those two videos, right? So as usual, I have been recording this session using OBS Studio, and it will be available in very short span of time. I have been working on the past videos too. So eventually every videos will be uploaded after the completion of the classes, right? So in the previous class we have seen about the loops and conditions: for loop, while loop, do while, and then we looked into the conditions like if, else if ladder, nested if. Like there is another called switch statement, right? So in the switch statement, right, switch statement, it works like if the expression, the condition is taken and the case one is matched, it shows the it works on the statement 1 set of statement, right? After that it will break, and then it will go to the end part. If it's unmatched, it goes to the next case. If that too unmatched, it goes to the uh, last case, right? That too unmatched, it goes to the default case, right? You can have n number of cases along with the default, right? There if there is no other matched cases, then this default will work. Okay, so this is one of the conditional statement, as well as it works on a condition, and it have lot of options to choose upon. It's more or like if else if ladder statement, right? Again it goes to the next case, right? So it moves on. So this is one of the way to control the flow of the statement, but when compared with the if condition or else if, it takes so much of time, right? Because if there are so many cases, it takes so much of time. Okay, so as well as you can get use only one condition. In if else you can use two or more conditions, but in such case you can use only one condition. But you can use nested if nested switch statements. But unlike if else if, it takes some time, and it's shows what do you call that, very complex one, right? It shows a very complex mode of implementing. So so many people avoid this switch statement because of its complexity, right? So today we will see about related programs for the loops and conditions, right? So first we will look into the for and then while and then do while and then infinite for loop, and then we will go to if example, Java nested if example, and switch example, right? So in this if example we are having if, else if, and if else if, right? So each and everything is uh, discussed in this session itself, right? In the previous class we looked into the theoretical part. Today we will uh, look into the practical part of the same topics, right? So the first one is for loop. Okay, so this is the line which is needs to be in every Java program, and this is public class. For example, like for example is a class, okay, and it's been available as public, and then we are using a main and it doesn't return anything, that's why it's become void, and it's also a static one, and it's also available as a public. Okay, so in the for loop, this is a for loop. In the for loop we are initializing the variable I, and then we are doing some conditions here, and then we are moving to the increment operator. This is called post increment operator. I think you don't have any operators to discuss, but the operators is more necessary thing to know, right? More relevant topic to you all. So if possible I will look into the uh, basic keywords and basic operators in C++, Java. We will discuss in a later session. For the mid semester, sir asked me to complete around 2.5 units. So I am trying to complete within the stipulated time. So if time permits, we will look into that basic keywords in later sessions, right? So fifth unit is very easy. So I have been preparing PPT for the fifth unit, and it will be uploaded within 2 weeks. I hope I will upload the total video for the unit 5 within 2 weeks. I hope do the same, right? So this is a loop, and it just prints the value of I. Okay, so system.out.println means new line, ln means new line. These are all class, subclass, and method available inside the class. Okay, these are built in. Everything is built in except this I. This is built-in function, this is built-in subclass, this is built-in class. Okay, so we are using println method, okay, to print the I variable. I here gets initialized, and then making giving condition for the ith variable, and then we are incrementing the I. So if you are running, what it does, hope you remember the previous program, okay, demo.java, right? So this demo.java, I think we will close over here, and then we will open, because I changed the location, so it won't work. Okay, so this is the program we have already seen, but there are a lot of things to discuss inside this content itself, right? Even it has very few line of coding, like very few line of coding, but if you make some errors knowingly, so you can learn a lot. Okay, so we will look into this later. So first we have seen the for example, right? It just prints the value of I. So our value of I is incrementing over here, and still it reaches I equal to 10. The loop continues. Okay, so it prints 1 to 10. In the next line, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, it prints the I. So this is also a same example, but with a while loop. Okay, so in for loop we just have a set of statement, not a set of statement, just a line of statement. But in while loop we are having a set of statement, right? We are initializing separately, we are incrementing separately, right? We are doing some conditions over here, so each and everything is separated. This also works on the same way as for loop. It prints the value from 1 to 10. So if I make it as 0 over here, it prints from 0 to 10. Okay, so nothing more. So do while. So as I already told in the previous class, while and do while works on the same way. So what is the difference here in do while? We can the condition will be checked in later section. Okay, in while the condition is checked and then the loop is worked. A set of statement inside the loop is worked. But if you look into this, do set of statement and then we are going to the condition. Okay, I think I have been using this one. Okay, so I less than or equal to 10. I changed this previously to show how it works. We will change it later, and then I will show how the different kind of code works in the same set of statements, right? So we will save it here. So each and everything works on the same way, like it prints 1 to 10. Okay, so Java for example. Java C, sorry, I think I need to type Java for example, and then Java while example, and then Java do while example. Okay, so everything printing as 0, right? I think I didn't compile the new code, so that it doesn't work. Okay, I'm compiling again because we changed it later, so I compiled it. Now I am running, right? 1 to 10. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I am checking, okay, I equal to 0, and I am initializing here 0, or I will make it as 1, right? So it is less than 1, so this is a false statement. Okay, this is a false statement right now. So I am saving it here, and then we will compile the do while example, and then we will run it. Okay, now you can look, it worked only one time. Okay, do while loop worked only one time, but the condition is actually false. Now I hope you can understand. The I equal to 0. Okay, the condition is a false, but the loop worked one time. Okay, That is the difference between while and do while. While first checks the condition and then the set of statement inside the loop will work. In do while, a set of statement will worked only one time. After that the condition will be checked. Okay, so that's the difference between while and do while. I hope now you can understand. Okay, it's a very simple concept only. Again we made it as a previous one. Okay, now it works on the same way. I will share these files through sites.google.com, right? I will share it over there. You can download it through the given link. Okay, otherwise I can store it in Google Drive and then I can share that link, but this is very feasible one, right? You can easily access this content very easily when compared with others, right? So I will create a page over here. Sorry, so I will create a page over here so you can access in these links. Okay, so I will create a folder over here. I think editing are disabled because I think I need to update the system. Okay, so I will get into the Google Drive, right? So that's a way we all do in these days. So better to be in Google Drive. Maps Drive. Okay, here. Sorry, I think I need to choose folder upload. So okay, so I will share the link. Okay, get link. So no issues. We have been recording this session through OBS. So I will share today's video session within 2 hours, right? No, so no issues at all. Okay, so if you have time, so post your attendance. So you can place your attendance over the WhatsApp link itself. So if you can join, you can join, right? So no issues at all. I hope everyone is over there, right? So for example, while example, do while example, we have seen about these loops. So this is called infinite loop. So what is by infinite loop means it works again and again and again and again, right? It works on the infinite loop, right? So that's called infinite, for example. So if you run this one, Java C infinite for example .java. So Java infinite for example. So it works, right? Actually you cannot see what it's been happening, but it shows 0 0 0 0 again and again and again. So I'm using Control C right now, so to interrupt the flow, right? This is called adware interrupt. So if you can see easily, I can make this one as I++. Now we can see what's been happening over there. So this is the way it actually works. So look at the speed it goes on, right? So the count is moving, right? 57,168 times the loop have been worked right now. So this is called infinite loop. If you want to check a condition indefinitely, so what's the purpose of indefinite means? Sometimes it may work to choose a random number. So in a very short span of time, the number moved very drastically. Okay, so this is the way the infinite loop works. So with this infinite loop you can easily find out a random number with some sort of specification, right? So actually I have been using this for loop in a program, right? This is internal mux split. Okay, I am using in my college to find out the numbers, right? So we used to put marks to our students, so that the total mark have to be split in this way. So that's a tough job if we do in a manual way. So I have created a very small program to find out the split values. Okay, so if you can see, right, here you can see we are using indefinite for loop to find the random value. Okay, so this is the function called random value finder. So it works from 2 to 7, right? It picks a value from 2 to 7 and it also includes the 2 and 7. Okay, so in this way, if there is 4 random values and it needs to be added, and it needs the total have to be checked with given mark. Okay, so the loop continuously works to find the desired mark. So in this case I have been using this indefinite for loop. So there are a lot of usefulness in this indefinite for loop. When you are going to any IT industry, you will know how efficiently this indefinite for loop works. Okay, so this is a set of programs inside a single program for if else, if else, and if else if, right? So here you can look at the name of the class named if example. So after that, int age equal to 20, we are declaring a variable named age as a integer data type. Okay, with the integer data type. So this age can hold integer value. It holds the 20 as a value, and we are checking a condition if age greater than 18, and we are printing a statement as age is greater than 18. Okay, so we don't have any else if or else, nothing, right? We just use if condition. Okay, so if you want to check for voting in India, the age needs to be age greater than or equal to 18. Okay, so in this way, in the decide way, you can easily change the condition as you wish. Okay, so the next one is if else. Int number equal to 13. Okay, we are initializing a variable named number with integer as a data type, and it can hold integer value, and the value is 13. Okay, if number %2 equal to 0, okay, then it's a even number, otherwise it will be a odd number. So we are finding odd number or even number for the given number. Okay, so if it's been even number, it needs to satisfy this condition. So this percentage, what it does is it gives the remainder value. Okay, percentage provides remainder value. Okay, if you are dividing, you will get the quotient value. In percentage, you will get the remainder value. Okay, this is basic mathematics. So here we are finding whether the given number is even or odd number. Okay, we are using only one if condition, and then we are having else part. Okay, so in if else if, okay, if else if, we are having a condition, and then we are moving for another conditions, and last we are having else. Okay, so we are checking out the given number. Okay, if it less than 50, it will show fail. If the mark is greater than or equal to 50 and mark less than 60, it will be degrade. So on the condition goes on. Okay, so AND operation means two conditions need to be true. Okay, OR means any one condition needs to be true. Okay, and this is and another one is OR. And needs to satisfy both condition needs to be true. Okay, in the last else part we are having invalid. Okay, if you are giving -3 or 104, it will shows like invalid. Okay, so first we will do some basics, and then we will do some errors, and then we will try to run it. So Java C if example dot Java if example, right? In first if condition, the value is 20. Okay, so the value is 20, so it shows like age is greater than 18. Okay, and then the next one, the number is 13, so it shows the odd, it's an odd number, right? So here mark is 65, so 65 comes under C grade, so it shows C grade, right? So here now we are changing to 103. Okay, and we are providing here will be like 82, and we are giving 17. Okay, now we changed all values. Now the output will be different. Okay, so in the first one, the number doesn't the system.out.println statement itself doesn't shown, because there is only one condition. If age greater than or equal to 18 only, age is greater than 18. Okay, otherwise it doesn't show anything because it doesn't have anything. Okay, in the next if else part, so you can look into, there is two statement, one is true and another one is false. Previously the false statement has been worked, now the two statement have been worked. Okay, So in the next part we have changed the mark to 103, so it shows invalid. Okay, so now we again change all the values as a previous one. Okay, so Java nested if example. This is nested if. Okay, nested if means, okay, nested if means there will be another if condition inside one. Okay, inside another one. This is one if condition, and inside this true statement there is another if condition. Okay, this is called nested if. So the age needs to be greater than 18 as well as the weight needs to be greater than 50. So if the both condition works, it will show you are eligible to donate blood. If age is greater than 18 but the weight is less than 50, you are not eligible to donate blood. If the age itself doesn't greater than or equal to 18, age must be greater than 18, it will show. Okay, so in this way this program works. So we will compile it and then, okay, sorry, okay, so you are eligible to donate blood because of the weight is 58. So what it happens if we change it to 48? Okay, so it needs to show you are not eligible to donate blood. Okay, this is the purpose. So even you can change it to our like if age greater than or equal to 18 and okay, and weight greater than 50, then you can put this statement. In else, if age greater than or equal to 18 and weight less than 50, you are not eligible to donate blood. In the last part, okay, if age less than 50 and weight greater than less than 18 and weight is greater than 50, age must be greater than 18. So in here we are reducing sorry sorry so here we are reducing the conditions. Okay, when I tell the set of conditions needs to be changed, it's a very complex one when compared to this one. Okay, so lot of time nested if works better than if else if ladders. Okay, so you need to remember those kind of things. So switch example. So we are having number as a variable with integer data type which holds 20 as its value. Switch number, right? We are having number. Okay, this is just condition. Okay, so case 10, if the number is 10, it shows 10. If it's 20, it shows 20. If it's 30, it will show 30. Otherwise it will show not in 10, not 20, at 30. Okay, so this is switch itself here, number is a condition. Okay, so whatever the value comes in, it works. Okay, so if we compile it, switch example.java, so Java switch example, it shows 20. Okay, so if we make it as 21 and we are saving it and then we are compiling it, now we are going to try to run it. So not in 10, 20 or 30. Okay, so now I hope you get the point. So this demo.java which we have been discussing in the past few sessions, right? So in this session I just want to right, complete the previous pending one. Okay, so for loop add semicolon. Okay, if we add semicolon to the for loop, okay, it takes as a statement. Okay, so if we run it, javac demo.java. okay, so after that we are fact star I. Okay, now the initialization problem is occurring because the scope of the variable is completed over here. Okay, now we get the point. The scope of the variable is completed over here. Now it shows an error. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is I am initializing here also. Okay, I am declaring as well as initializing I before the for loop itself. So now it shows more errors. Okay, because now here we are used comma. Okay, so look into the errors over here. It shows 5 errors. So there is no symbol for it. Okay, because we didn't define the I, so it shows like cannot find symbol. It shows same thing, right? So what it does it when we put semicolon over here, the data type cannot be assigned to I. So now we have changed the program and we are trying to run it. So the factorial of 5 is 6. That's true, right? It's actually the factorial I think 120, right? So if we changed this line and then we again compile it and then we run it, okay, 120. Okay, so now I hope you get the point. So you need to do a lot of errors in a program so that you can learn more and more. Okay, so system.out.println remove semicolon. Okay, system.out.println we are removing the semicolon over here and look at what it's gonna show. It will show a, okay, it shows like you are missing a semicolon over the line 11. Okay, in the line 11 you are having an error. Okay, so we are going to put a semicolon over here and then we are moving to the next one. So place inside the loop before and after semicolon. Okay, actually I have been forget what I need to do. Okay, that's okay. Okay, before and after semicolon. Okay, I think we don't have any semicolons right now. Okay, and we are putting the 3 set of statements over here. Okay, and then we are saving it. So we don't have semicolon over here, but we are trying to run it. Javac demo.java. I hope it doesn't throw any errors. Okay, it doesn't throw any error, right? So now look how the program worked. Okay, so number in fact equal to 1, I equal to 1, number equal to 5. Okay, so the number get incremented again and again and again, and it's been multiplied with a fact I and fact have been multiplied and it's stored to fact. Okay, so now here you can look it, right, 120. The final result is 120. So first one is 1 and then becomes 2 and then becomes 6, 6 4 24, 24 5 120. Okay, multiplication. So now we put semicolon over here. So already we put the semicolon and we run this statement and it shown 6. Okay, so now we can look how what number it shows. Okay, so now you can look number in fact equal to 6, number in I equal to 6, number in number equal to 5. So how what's been happening is this statement it's been working till the condition is satisfied. Okay, so number become 5. Okay, but the fact becomes 6. How? Right, the fact become 6 actually, because the I becomes 6 itself. Okay, so this is post increment operator. Post increment operator means after the completion of the statement it moves to the next number. Okay, even the number is 5 over here, it moves to 6. So after this semicolon is occurred, I become 6. Okay, fact holds 1. Okay, so after the statement is worked, fact becomes 6. Actually fact was 1, now it becomes 6. So I is already 6. So number in number is 5. Okay, because the loop is worked only till 5. Okay, so that's the way it works. So just now you have been entering, almost I have completed, but no issues. This recorded session will be uploaded within 2 hours today. Okay, so I will share that link to within very short time. Okay, I can do that, right? So in this way this program works. So this is one of the way to think. Okay, so if you have any ideas, right, if you have any doubts, you need to work it on. Otherwise we cannot learn anything. If and only if we worked, we can learn. Otherwise we cannot understand what's been happening inside a program. Okay, we need to split each and everything. We need to do experimentation on the programs. Okay, so if it's run on the first time, you need to create some errors so that you can learn about some errors. Okay, so that's the way you need to think. So we have completed this third one. So after the loop, add this snippet. Okay, so number in I, add this snippet after the loop. Okay, so after the loop I need to put it over here. So I think it will be here. So just to show what is inside I, we are showing, right, number in I equal to 6. Okay, the same 6 is over here. So the loop is stopped over here and the result is same as previous one. Okay, so I think with this we will finish off today's session. So if you have any doubts, you can mail me or you can ask me in our WhatsApp group. Okay, so I will share today's session as soon as possible. Okay, with a little editing too. Okay, so any doubts so far? Any doubts, or shall we wind up?